If you're over 60 or even moving through your 50s and starting to notice your body responding differently to things that once felt simple, I want you to listen closely today. Because one of the biggest mistakes I see women make in midlife is assuming that if a vitamin is sold over the counter, it must be harmless. We think, well, it's just a supplement, it's supposed to help. And I understand why. For years, we were told to take a little something for our bones, something else for energy, maybe another for immunity, and just trust that more support meant better health. But here is the truth I wish more women were told clearly and calmly. Some supplements that sound helpful on the label can become a real problem as we get older. Not because your body is failing, but because it is changing. Your liver processes differently. Your kidneys are not as quick to clear excess. Your nerves, blood vessels, and joints are more sensitive than they were at 35. So a supplement that once seemed fine can start working against you. And I say this with so much care because I know how confusing this world can be. Women in this stage of life are often trying so hard to do the right thing. You are reading labels. You are buying the senior version. You are spending money because you want to stay strong, sharp, and independent. So today I want to walk you through 4 supplements I would be very careful with after 60. And then I want to turn to 4 nutrients that can truly support strength, energy, mood, and healthy aging when used wisely. Let's start with vitamin A in the retinol form. This one surprises a lot of people. Vitamin A has a healthy reputation. We connect it with vision, skin, immunity. And yes, your body does need vitamin A. But the problem is the form and the dose. Retinol and ingredients like retinol palmitate are stored in the body. They are not simply washed away. Over time, especially in older adults, that stored vitamin A can build up. And when it builds up, it may start showing up in ways that are easy to dismiss. Dry skin, brittle hair, dizziness, fatigue, joint discomfort, blurred vision. Things many women shrug off as just age. What makes this one tricky is that a lot of multivitamins contain it, and many women never think to check the form. I want you to think of this less as vitamin A is bad, and more as stored forms of vitamin A can become too much for a body that no longer clears excess efficiently. A gentler option is getting vitamin A through foods rich in beta-carotene, like carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, and other colorful produce. Your body can convert what it needs, rather than being forced to store a heavy dose all at once. The next one is iron. Now this is a big one because iron has been marketed for years as an answer for fatigue. Tired? Take iron. Weak? Maybe you need iron. But after menopause, most women are no longer losing blood every month. That changes the equation completely. Unless a doctor has tested you and confirmed that you are low, taking extra iron can do more harm than good. This is especially important because iron is not something the body gets rid of easily. Excess iron can accumulate, and when it does, it may create oxidative stress, which is simply a fancy way of saying it can increase wear and tear inside the body. That is not what we want in midlife. It may affect the liver, the heart, and even the brain. And just like with other overload issues, the symptoms can look vague. Fatigue that does not make sense, brain fog, joint pain, feeling off but not knowing why. So here is my gentle advice. Please do not take iron just because you feel tired. Get tested first. Ask your doctor to look at your ferritin and iron markers. You deserve real information, not guessing. There is a big difference between correcting a true deficiency and accidentally burdening a body that already has enough. Now let's talk about calcium supplements, because this one is deeply ingrained in women's health messaging. For decades, women were told that calcium is the answer for strong bones. And again, calcium matters, of course it does. But swallowing large calcium supplements without the right balance around them is not the same as building healthy bone. As we get older, the body does not always direct calcium where we want it to go. That is the issue. You want calcium in your bones. You do not want it settling into soft tissues or contributing to calcification in places it does not belong. And when women take calcium alone, especially in larger amounts, without enough vitamin D, vitamin K2, magnesium, movement, and adequate protein, the picture becomes incomplete. I always tell women that bones are not built from one pill. Bone health is a full conversation. It includes resistance training, walking, balance work, protein, minerals, hormones, and nutrient balance. So instead of automatically reaching for a high-dose calcium tablet, I want you to look at the whole foundation. Leafy greens, yogurt if you tolerate it, sardines with bones, almonds, seeds, strength training, time outdoors, and if you do supplement, do it thoughtfully and in a more complete way. The fourth one I want you to watch closely is high-dose vitamin B6. This one is often tucked into energy formulas, nerve blends, and stress supplements. Because B vitamins have such a healthy image, people assume more must be better. But high doses of B6 over time can irritate and even damage nerves. That means the very vitamin someone takes hoping to support their nervous system can end up contributing to tingling, numbness, burning sensations, weakness, or balance problems. And again, this becomes confusing because those symptoms are often blamed on aging, diabetes, or just getting older. But sometimes the label is the clue. So I really want you to check your bottles. If you are taking multiple products, your total B6 may be much higher than you realize. Food sources like poultry, fish, chickpeas, bananas, and potatoes can cover a lot of your needs without pushing you into unnecessary excess. Now, before we move into the supportive side of this conversation, I want to pause and say something important. This is not about being afraid of supplements. It is about becoming more discerning. More is not always better. Expensive is not always better. For women over 50 is not automatically better. Your body deserves precision, not overwhelm. So now let's turn the page and talk about the nutrients that can truly help many women in this stage of life when they are low or not getting enough. The first is magnesium. If I could put one quiet hero on the table for women in midlife and beyond, magnesium would be very high on the list. So many women are low in it, and the signs are easy to miss. Trouble sleeping, muscle tightness, constipation, feeling anxious and wired, heart flutters, headaches, restless legs, poor stress resilience. Sound familiar? Magnesium touches so many systems in the body, and yet it is one of the nutrients that often slips through the cracks. What I love about magnesium is that women often feel a real difference when they correct a deficiency. Better sleep, calmer evenings, fewer cramps, more regularity, sometimes even a subtle sense of being more grounded in their body. Not all forms are equal, though. Magnesium oxide is common, but it is not always the best absorbed. Many women do better with glycinate, citrate, or malate, depending on what their body needs. Food matters too, of course. Pumpkin seeds, leafy greens, beans, avocado, almonds, dark chocolate in moderation. But many women still need extra support. The next one is vitamin D3. This is a major conversation after 60 because your skin becomes less efficient at making vitamin D from sunlight as you age. Add indoor living, sunscreen, stress, and winter months, and many women are simply not getting enough. Vitamin D is not just about bones. It supports muscle function, immunity, mood, and resilience. When it is low, women may feel more tired, more fragile, more prone to low mood, more prone to getting sick, and less steady on their feet. And this is where I want to be very clear. Low vitamin D can quietly chip away at how you feel. It can make you think your body is simply declining, when in reality you may be undernourished in a very fixable way. I always encourage testing when possible because guessing is not the same as knowing. And when you do supplement, D3 is generally the form women are looking for. It also works best in partnership. Vitamin D does not act alone. It speaks to calcium, magnesium, vitamin K2, and movement. Your body is a conversation, not a collection of isolated parts. The third nutrient I want to highlight is vitamin B12. This one matters so much, especially for older women. As we age, we often produce less stomach acid, and that makes it harder to absorb B12 from food. Certain medications can make it even worse. So a woman may be eating reasonably well and still not be getting what she needs. Low B12 can show up as fatigue, weakness, memory issues, numbness, brain fog, mood changes, and poor balance. In some women, it can look frighteningly similar to cognitive decline. That is why B12 deserves respect. When a woman is low, getting those levels back up can make a meaningful difference in clarity, energy, and nerve health. Some women do well with sublingual forms that dissolve under the tongue. Others may need more targeted medical support if levels are very low. But the point is this: if you are exhausted, foggy, and feeling unlike yourself, do not assume it is just aging. Ask better questions. And finally, the nutrient I would place at the top of the aging well conversation is omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA. These healthy fats are deeply supportive for the heart, the brain, the joints, and the whole inflammatory picture that becomes more important with age. Many women in midlife feel inflamed without using that word. They feel achy, puffy, stiff, mentally dull. Their recovery is slower. Their mood feels less steady. Omega-3s can be one part of a broader plan to support the body in a more anti-inflammatory direction. I think of omega-3s as nourishment for graceful aging. Not glamorous, not trendy, just deeply useful. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel are wonderful sources. If a woman does not eat those regularly, a quality supplement may help fill the gap. This is one of those areas where quality matters, purity matters, absorption matters, and consistency matters. So let me bring all of this together for you in the simplest way I can. After 60, and honestly, for many women after 50, the question is no longer, what can I add to fix myself? The better question is, what truly supports the body I live in now? That is a very different mindset. It is slower, wiser, less reactive, more respectful. Some supplements that once sounded helpful can become a burden when taken in the wrong form, in the wrong amount, or for the wrong reason. Vitamin A in retinol form, extra iron without deficiency, isolated calcium, and high-dose B6 are all worth a careful second look. And on the other side, magnesium, vitamin D3, B12, and omega-3s can be meaningful allies when used thoughtfully and in response to real needs. I want you to hear this from me very clearly. You do not need to panic. You do not need to throw everything away tonight in a dramatic moment. What I would love for you to do is become curious. Go to your cabinet, read your labels, look at the forms, look at the doses. Ask yourself why you are taking each thing. Was it recommended after a test? Was it prescribed for a clear reason? Or did it simply sound healthy? Because this is the work of midlife in so many ways. Not doing more out of fear, but choosing better from a place of wisdom. You have spent enough years being sold quick fixes. You deserve a more grounded relationship with your health. I know how easy it is to feel overwhelmed by all of this. I have lived through that season of trying to piece myself back together, wondering why no one explained these things in plain English, wondering why I was working so hard and still not feeling like myself. That is why I share this the way I do, not to scare you, to steady you, to remind you that your body is not betraying you. It is communicating with you. And when you learn how to listen, everything changes. So tonight, take 10 quiet minutes and look at what you are taking. Make a little note of anything that surprises you. Bring your questions to your practitioner. Ask about testing instead of guessing. Ask whether what you are taking still fits the woman you are now. Because Vibrant does not have an age limit, and your next chapter of health will not be built by doing everything. It will be built by doing the right things, with care, with clarity, and with deep respect for the life your body has already carried you through. Age is just the beginning.